Good afternoon, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Jill Gilardi here. We're going to get into the 40s this afternoon, but change is on the way. Knock, knock, who's there? Some cold and windy weather is coming our way. And actually, after all the sunshine we've been enjoying, here comes the clouds again. And even some showers, but this go around, it's a burst of snow. So we have a little band that's going to be swinging on through, and this is going to happen basically between about 5 and 8 p.m. from west to east. So it's a quick burst, but when it comes through, it's like, woo, visibility could quickly drop. You see things kind of blowing around, kind of looks like a little squall, but maybe not reaching criteria. But could, create a few slick spots. Can't rule that out because, temperatures will be cooling off, anything untreated that is. But in terms of the amount, it's a coating some places. Could someone get a half an inch? Wouldn't be shocked out of it, Litchfield County, that kind of deal. But as you can see, it moves across our state. There's 7, maybe not everyone getting snow. You might just have some wet flakes down to the south. And then this is over and done with by 8, 9 o'clock. A few little lingering flurries or snow showers 11, and that is over and done with. Then we have to deal with the wind. So notice once that little batch moves through, bam, those winds start to spike and they gust over 30 plus miles per hour through the early morning hours, and then we stay breezy tomorrow. And tomorrow it will be seasonally cooler, so any gust will create a colder feel, obviously, any bit of wind. So just plan on bundling up. It is our next big thing because, it marks change from this thaw we've been enjoying, this January thaw. Here's just reality, what we should be having for lows and highs, 19 versus 35. We were in the 30s and 40s this morning, so that's been, well above average. We could use some snow in the Hartford area if we want to get back to normal. Still doing okay for Bridgeport. And speaking of snow, we're watching at the end of the week, watching Thursday, later into Thursday now, into Friday. So the time frame has shifted a little bit. We just don't know, is this system going to phase together? And, is it just light precipitation, light snow? Is it light rain to snow? If it phases, does it, happen too far to the east? So it's still lots of uncertainty until this system, the data, is being sampled, the current state of the atmosphere, which goes into the models. That's going to happen once we get closer because the actual storm system starts to take shape across the U.S. And but that process is a gradual one, and that's why it takes sometimes up to the day of where we make those final changes, because that's when everything comes together. The storm actually is forming fully. Okay, so we'll be watching that for you, keeping you updated. If we start to see more trends in a direction that we have an impactful system, we will go ahead and issue a First Alert Weather Day. We have not yet, but definitely check back in with us. But certainly looking briefly cooler, then warming up, and then here we go with the real chilly air coming in late week into early next weekend. Have a great rest of your day.